Hi, everybody. Good evening or good afternoon, depending on where you happen to be in the world. Welcome to the SFMA. I'm your host this week, Dillon here in Derry in Northern Ireland. My co-host Craig Kerr is also here with us. Just the sort of European branch of science fiction model action. We're trying to do a hangout each week here for us sort of lesser endowed modelers across the pond, perhaps. If we'll give a shout out first to our sponsors for HDA Model Works, to Ralph Tanaglia at Tenna Controls, and of course we've got the Science Fiction Model Action Forum, the Science Fiction Model Action Google Plus community. You also have Boyd's two broadcasts each week, the Model Shop guys, and I've forgotten the name of the other one. It's terrible. Remind me, Craig.
Which was Model Shop Guys, TrekWorks.
TrekWorks Presents.
TrekWorks Presents. That's the other one. Thank you, Shan. Okay. Well, if we start tonight from my Google left, we've got Andy.
You always start with me.
Well, you'll need to change your name to Zanzibar or something. Probably, you couldn't be the first one to get chosen.
Yeah, Andy from the UK, Northwest area, with somebody just repainting it.
Andy, your sound's going funny.
Yeah, it's probably the weekend. But
Working now.
I think that is the nicest mass market Star Wars kit that they ever released. That thing is just beautiful. It goes together well, and it's really accurate.
Yeah, I like it. Nice. But yeah, just to repaint it. One of these Andy John.
You are breaking up, Andy, badly with the sound.
Blame Google.
It's got to be good.
Oh, it's Google's fault. Everything's Google's
Yes,
fault.
I always blame Google.
Everything's Google. Blame Google. Hey. Well, sure, we'll come back. Maybe it'll stabilise a little bit in a while, Andy. And then we've got my co-host, Craig Kerr. Hi, Craig.
Evening, guys. Name's Craig Kerr, Sabre UK of Sci-Fi Model Action. What am I currently working on? Several things, actually. Since Telford, I've got myself an Iron Man, which I'm in the process of lighting. I've got another Hummer for my AVP Dio, which is coming on slowly. What else am I working on? Oh, got a Wallace and Gromit that I'm about to start shortly.
Cool.
And I've just gone off and got my Alien 3D printed.
Oh, very good.
Sweet.
Have you actually received it, or are you still waiting for?
It got dropped off this morning, and I should have the first ones back in about a week.
And how many are you getting made in total for the diorama?
I'm getting 4 in various poses.
Uh-huh.
They're about $3.99 each for 35th scale.
That's amazingly cheap.
So yeah, well that comes with the cost of supplying the original kit as well.
Well, yeah, but normally the 3D printing can be prohibitive.
Yeah, I meant because I've paid for the kit and they've now got the original kit.
Right.
And scanning it down, they're giving us it a bit cheaper.
Uh-huh. Excellent.
But I'm going to originally get 4 or 5 to start with. But I'll probably get a slack handful for other projects, maybe. I've got an APC that you've all seen anyway that I could do something with some 35th scale aliens. Yeah, that's where I'm at the minute.
That's excellent so far. And if we move on to Glenn. Hi, Glenn. Our Prison City models is your sound's a bit low. Yeah, I'll push it up a little bit again. I think get as close as you can to the microphone.
Hang on. Yeah, it's Prison City Hobbies. Sorry about that. I was texting my brother. No, I owner, operator, proprietor, whatever you want to call it, one-man show, Prison City Hobbies. I build electronic control boards and stuff like that. Plus, I'm an avid builder. Don't mind me. I'm testing a circuit I just came up with.
Are you? Is it the electronics you're working on at the minute? Then you're not actually building anything, or is it a case of building?
No, I build kits. I build my own electronics. Actually, if you look, I've been. This is a very simple, very elegant, cheaply inexpensive photon torpedo launcher for your starships.
Sweet.
Couple of components, you know, no need to run it on a chip or nothing like that.
The two big capacitors that I see there as well. Yeah, for.
The capacitors hold the charge. You have to let them charge up. It runs on 9 to 12 volts. You let the capacitor charge up, and pop goes the weasel.
Excellent.
Nice.
And it's got a simple toggle switch on it. That's what replaces the chip. Put a toggle switch on, you can switch it back and forth, and it's got a triggering device. So I can get it up high enough so you guys can see it.
Is there a sound component to it too, or is that
What's that now?
Is there a sound to it as well? Does it?
Is there? I can't hear you.
Does it fire does it create the torpedo sound as well?
No, I don't have. I'm not doing the sounds because it costs too much money for my kind of equipment. Radio Shack has these little sound identifiers. I could probably get one of those and wire it in with this, but that's like $8. So, not really interested in doing that. I don't care about the sound. I'm all about the effect.
Yeah, keeping the cost down as much as possible too. I suppose that's the thing I'm always worried about with lighting kits.
With something like this, it runs right into your 9 or 12 volt power supply, and something like this I'd probably sell for like maybe $30.
Yeah, that's good.
Simple, elegant, comes as you see it.
If we'll come back to with other things anyway, Glenn. But we'll move on to Jay now. Who I think everyone knows Jay, the mad genius. So, congratulations, by the way, on the new show. I watched it this morning. Excellent, really, really fantastic.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, episode 2 went up yesterday, and I'm going to continue doing these every 2 weeks. I really enjoy doing the show, and I'm getting an awful lot of good feedback on it. One of the things people are saying that they appreciate is the fact that I don't just go, okay, we're going to need to do this, and then show, okay, it's been done. I actually show doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know about the explosives component part of it. That that's not good for children who may be watching.
Probably not, but I don't know. I decided to kind of approach the show with a little more humor. I don't, I love Simon, but I don't want to do skits and things like that. If I'm going to do any humor, it's going to be included in the show and just for fun to help make it more interesting.
Yeah. Oh no, it was very informative. I mean, it's like the whole thing about saving money on materials and so on. That's the thing I find useful about it, that you've an approach to things you think, why didn't I think of that?
Oh yeah, I'm a really cheap bastard, and I will build something before I'll go out and buy it. The only time I'll go out and buy a new tool is if it's really something I can't build on my own.
Yeah, so. And your field of knowledge is just insane. I mean, every time I've ever asked you anything, you've always come back straight away with, oh, do it this way, or this tool, or use this technique. It's just superb. So, but if anyone hasn't seen the show, I'd really recommend it. What's your website again? The direct website is.
The direct website will be starting this week. I finally got the problems I was having with my my provider taken care of. It's just evilduckworkshop.com, but it's also available on YouTube, and I'll soon be starting to stream on Vimeo as well.
Very good. So. And you have a Patreon funding thing as well.
I just started that. The Patreon went live about an hour ago.
Appropriate timing, yes.
And I've already made $1 million. Well, no.
Right. That's for the future. That's for the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just to help cover costs, because it does cost something to do a show every 2 weeks, and to help get better equipment, things like that.
I think we've lost Shannon, or Shannon stepped out of the room for a second.
Looks that way.
Looks that way. Well, I'll move on to myself then, sure. I'm working at the moment. As you know from the last couple of different broadcasts, we've talked about Hasbro Millennium Falcon, that everyone sort of seems to have gone not crazy about, but the fact that it's such good value for money. But I mean, the stage I'm at the minute, I'm the current one I'm working on, which is just this one. I go back. Oh, wrong direction. Anybody hasn't seen it before, you can see the crazy size of it. But I'm doing this one. This is just doing pre-shading at the minute, because my son has a friend who's crazy about Star Wars, so he wanted a Christmas present for him. So this one I'm not detailing in any way. It's just going to be a straight paint job, because he'll be happy with it just display on a wall, whatever the appropriate direction to put it on the wall is, just as a sort of a room decoration. But it's just doing the pre-shading, which took far longer than a normal because of the amount of pre-shading that's involved in it. But it's a test bed for me. It's the thing we just talked about before was a big problem with this, is getting paint to stick to it. I had tried a couple of places because I painted over it, but if you put my tape on it at all, the paint was just lifting straight off, and I had used a plastic primer. But I've spoken to someone else locally who's building one, and he's used a particular brand of adhesion promoter, which I'm trying to get a hold of. It's not something that our local, it's Halford's is our local car accessory sort of place, and I can't seem to get the adhesion promoter from them. It's never in stock. So I'm going to try and get the other one instead, which is actually a much cheaper version, but it's worked for him. So long as you apply the adhesion promoter, then give it a primer coat, and let it cure for 3 or 4 days, it seems to stick.
The adhesion promoter.
The other thing I'm going to have to look at is, sorry, Jay?
I was just saying the adhesion promoter, it kind of just barely etches the vinyl.
Yeah, there seems to be, there's a version which is actually described as an etch primer.
Yeah, it actually digs in just a little tiny bit, and it holds on. You don't lose any detail, but it gives something for your primer to stick to.
Unfortunately, I can't find it locally, but I'm traveling to Belfast this week, so I'll probably get it to one of the stores up there. But it's just interesting that they make it. If they'd made it from plastic for modelers, I think that kit would sell incredibly well. But they haven't. It's not geared to that. It's geared to a child's toy market. But the degree of detail on it is just crazy. But then they do silly things like they've got one side wall, as you can see, and the detail there is excellent. Okay, but then when you go below that, there isn't a side wall. It's just, it's just a sticker. It just seems silly, They sort of half done it and then thought, yeah, that's fine the way it is. And I mean, it's not heavy. It's because of the type of material it's made from. Some people seem to be doing an internal armature first. They're creating an aluminium armature down the two mandibles and across the two dimensions of the ship in order to fit a suspension pole or a support mechanism. And I may look at that let's say the next one, I'm doing this one's just a purely paint job. The next one I'm going to try and build myself and try and improve it. My friend in Belfast, he's doing the side walls. He's going to mold them. Someone else has the cockpit on shapeways available to order. Someone else is doing the landing mechanism, the landing struts, because the struts that's on here, again I should have shown that, are awful. They're just blocks. Don't know, again, to an extent, can't really. If you see them just there, that one and the other one, I mean, they're just really poor. They're like swear they were made of Lego bricks, just Lego. That's what it looks like. So these have to be removed. And the other problem people are having is how you stick things to it. Some people are using JB Weld or a two-part style acrylic. Basically, you put on a primer first, and then the CA is on the other part of the whatever you're trying to stick together. So the primer's on one piece of material. The CA is on the other, and we bring the two of them together, they bond, and that seems to be the only way to bond anything to the polyvinyl. There's been a lot of talk on one of the other forums about someone actually molding, or taking a mold from that and creating a resin version of it, just in total dimensions, but big job, crazy time to do so.
Yeah.
I'm still also working on the Star Destroyer, which I seem to be in a Star Wars mode at the minute. I still have all of these optical fibers that I've been doing over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, boy!
And
It's like you're building a harp.
it's amounts to it, and the same with the bottom. But I've been doing more of the work on the Falcon this week. Although I haven't had a lot of time due to a few family crises. Gonna hopefully get back into the way of things now again. If anyone in particular got anything they want to talk about this evening, I know Andy, you were trying to sort of talk to us about the. Oh, sorry. Beg your pardon, Shannon. Yes, oops. Yes, sorry. That's my fault.
Oh, that's all right.
I turned off earlier.
I
Sorry.
didn't get that earlier.
Back to you now. Sorry. If we go over to Shannon Freeman, sorry about that.
It's just a little thing. I think it's C. Enterprise C. I got some of the detail done on it.
That's the C.
Are you removing? Sorry.
No, it's the Enterprise C. I'm trying to make it look like it just come out of space dock. Nothing super duper fancy. It does have battle damage on it, but I don't want to put battle damage on it. That make this thing look ugly.
Do it in pristine state.
I'm trying to make it look pristine.
Are you
The color that it came in was not the right color.
planning on lighting it?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope, I'm
because
just painting it. I don't like this thing. If I'd have lit it, it wouldn't be together right now.
well, yeah, because I've got a C, and I discovered a way to light it easily, and that is instead of cutting out the windows, just take a Dremel tool and go at it from behind the back part of the plastic, and thin the plastic down where the windows are.
Mm-hmm.
And then all you got to do is put some strip lighting in, and those all show. And when you paint it, you just mask off where the windows are,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes it a lot easier to light because I have no desire to cut out 700 windows.
I know there's that many windows on this thing.
Yeah.
Do you not find, Jane, it's very easy to go through the plastic, however, if you thin it too much?
If if you mask it on the outside,
Yeah.
and you paint it on the outside, you can usually it does work. Because I've tried it, and it does work out real well. It's a little bit like the way you would light a clear D model.
Yeah.
As in, you do all of your white paint, and then your primer and your final paint on the outside rather than on the inside.
Yeah.
And then you scrape away where the windows are.
Well, I know that's what with this Star Destroyer, the docking bay at the bottom. I don't know if you can just hear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was doing with that. Basically, it's going to have a strip light each side. Sorry, let me just switch to my camera. It will have a strip light each side, so you have the effect.
Mm-hmm.
Internal lighting. You can see it there.
It looks good, yeah.
Standard strip light each side. So again, and all that was the same idea, thinning down the internal part to the point where it's just show through light, and obviously being very careful with painting it afterwards. But I am getting some spots through the. I don't know if it'll show up. You can see where you can actually see the lights. See them moving.
You can see it, but once you've primered and painted it, that should go away.
Yeah. But again, it's an interesting technique. It doesn't seem to get used an awful lot, but it's actually appropriate for a lot of models. Randall Scott has joined us.
Hi guys.
Hi, Randall. Working on anything, or? That's a silly question with Randall. Randall's always working on something.
I wish it was actually. Well, yes, I am, but nothing science fiction. Just working on a Royal Navy Phantom.
Oh, that was
Andy's nemesis.
Wait, what? That's a story I haven't heard before.
You're not going to know either.
All right, they're not going to talk about it. Okay, that was a a thing they build that someone's actually asked you to build that as a present? I think you were saying.
What, the fandom?
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's my entry for this year's.
Sorry, I picked you up wrong the last time you were spoken. Beg your pardon. It's the Australian Aviation Society thing then?
That's the one, yep.
Yeah.
Of December is the competition time, so a bit of a race to get this thing finished before then.
So that's why everything else is put to one side.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I still tinker a wee bit at the Starfighter for the
Star Trek, the Enterprise chase plane.
Yep, that's the one. Yep. All the fuel tanks, and if I can find, where did I put it? Oh yeah. Adding a little bit of detail to the undercarriage bays here. They were very plain on the kit. So,
is that a very old kit? Or?
Yeah, it's the old Italeri, or I think it was Eschi, whatever you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Produced it first.
So
Italeri.
60s or 70s model?
Not quite that old. I think maybe more 80s.
Right. Okay.
It's got engraved panel lines and what have you.
Oh, that's exciting.
I would much rather have done it in 1/48 scale, but the only kit I have that's the C variant that they used the show was this monogram one, but I couldn't find the markings for it. The only markings I could find were in 1/72 scale, so that's the way I went.
You've never considered printing your own decals?
Not really. I'm not really up to that sort of level.
Right. I mean, of getting the source file somewhere and then printing them out, or even scanning the 1/72 scale ones and upscaling them and printing them out. Couldn't do that.
I could give it a go, but I would need my scanner to be working first. It's decided that because I haven't had any fresh ink in it for a while, it's decided that it'll not even let me scan anything now.
Yeah, that's really bad. Usually, it's printing's the problem, but not lack of ink doesn't usually mean the thing will stop scanning. So.
I feel like maybe taking it for a short ballistic test flight down the backyard.
Aerodynamic test, that's always a good thing when something doesn't work, yes, of course.
Get a new one.
If I go back to Andy and try and see if the sound problem's been cured a bit better now, but so, you don't like...
Hear me?
I can't really hear you, yes, sorry.
Hey, that's good. I'm nothing much to talk about, to be honest.
Oh no, well,
Telford Museum.
which note? I mean, is that the MPC kit or is it a?
I got given it in this condition. I don't know. I think it was just a toy.
Right, so it's just a toy that's been enhanced rather than but like a Hasbro idea, take a toy and.
Yeah. Well, it had a slight early tinge. I mean, it's probably 28 years old. I don't know, but I'm gonna get out a little piece of wood with some snow, and I'm gonna have an ATAP foot hovering over it or something. I don't know.
Sounds good. What's the next thing in the pipeline, or is there anything in the pipeline, or is too many things in the pipeline?
Don't ask him.
Oh no, is this?
I've finally got a second set of masks coming for the JJ, so I can hopefully before Christmas put it to bed.
Right.
Just needs masking in the polypack decal. And this was started in April, so when it finished, I didn't want to spend any more money before Christmas, so I thought I'll just spend it cheap.
Yeah, you got a cheeky little Iron Man going as well, haven't you?
The war machine, I started just doing the calculator on that. Started building the refinery ship from Alien.
Now you've done it. Cat's out the bag.
That was the picture you posted from. There was a model. For anyone that in the US doesn't know, the Scale Model World is the IPMS UK exhibition that's held once a year in Telford, which is in the northwest of England. I wish they'd pick somewhere a bit more central, but that's just me complaining. Which basically is a huge event over 4 halls, I think it was, where anything and everything, obviously there's a core IPMS UK type thing of aircraft, tanks, ships, and then there's always an element of the sci-fi side of things, or fantasy, or paper being represented at it. Sorry?
We ballsed up a little bit there, me and Andy. We should have stayed on the Sunday because apparently it was dead and they were giving away everything because they weren't selling.
Well,
we spent hundreds on the Saturday and we should have gone on the Sunday.
Well, yeah. Well, I know I've read that before in the past, but again, you can't guarantee it. It's that you take a chance and go in one day in the hope that you get the bargains. But I think you were complaining you were queuing for the swap meet, wasn't it, the swap side of things?
Yeah, well, the place wasn't supposed to open until I think it was 9 o'clock for the public, but IPMS members got there like uber early, so we all agreed to meet up at 9, of which Andy was late. But anyway, so we went in, and this was about 7:30, 7:45. We had a good hour and a bit queue there, and in which point there's like a good 100 people in front of us. As soon as we got in, we went straight to the kit swap. Ended up queuing there for a good hour and a bit, just getting there.
Yeah.
And then getting out of there was absolutely emotional. The way they did it, everybody that donated kits, they put stickers and reference numbers on.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. There's my Shaun the Sheep there, look. Whee, Shaun the Sheep. Oh, you see that reference number up there?
Yeah.
Well, that equates to the person that's selling it. So when it come to the till, if you had like 20, 30 kits, they had to go through like a manual to try and find those reference numbers to tick off that person sold it.
Yeah.
It would have worked if people weren't like panic buying, because the bloke in front of us had 2 huge boxes, and he must have had a good 100, 150 kits in those boxes.
Whew.
So you can imagine how long it was being stuck behind him while they're flicking through the manuals trying to figure out who's sold what.
4 3-foot back. Wife was carrying behind him, and he was kicking a box on the floor for the as well. And he was at the checkout 50 minutes.
Yeah, well, if you didn't hear that, it was about 50 minutes just to get him through. But the box from the floor, his kits went up to his chin, and his wife had exactly the same. He had a big box on the floor that went up to her chin. And
sounds like someone was buying it to resell them rather than a builder or a modeler, but
I don't know. I asked the manager if he could open it. What, Andy?
Some good bargains there, so people are feeling the big good stuff.
it's supposed to be a great venue. If you're after something that you haven't seen for a long time, you may find it there, but it's the time factor. I suppose that's the issue.
Mm.
That's the way it is at a lot of comic conventions too. Is like the last day, especially the last hour or two of the last day, they knock things down 50, 75% off because they just don't want to pack it back up and take it back with them.
Mm. Well, what I found is a couple of companies that I'd approached as well, they'd put the prices up on Saturday, and I was going to buy this specific model. I won't mention their names, but I asked them. It was about £99 or something they wanted for it. Checked on the website, and the proper price was £70-odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, shit out there,
Supply and demand, I suppose, or they're trying to make their money on the first day.
I have no idea, but apparently they didn't sell a great deal. Period.
I was at a convention once, and they had the Fine Molds Millennium Falcon, the big one, and they had it marked at $150, and like an idiot, I didn't buy it. And then when I went back about 10 minutes later, it was gone. So
painful.
Yeah, I know that's how I got my Enterprise NX-01 last year in Dublin at an IPMS event, and I got the kit and the lighting and the mask set for €70, which is what's $55, something like that. So
Wow.
what's he got? What's Andy? Oh my God, well done. No,
Yeah.
is that the full thing, or is there a lot more pieces to that?
Jesus, man, I need to. I've seen it by about a fiver. I just paid for the 2 bits of plastic board. I'm using anything. I don't want to spend any money on it, so literally it's and what have you. Yeah.
What sort of scale is that working at? 1/4000th or something, or
There was one on the RPF forum, and it was
Be right back.
40,000 scale or something. It was like 29, 24. Reduced it by I think 31% to make it, otherwise it would be.
your sound is really breaking up tonight. The picture's great, but your sound is, I don't know, is that, would you agree, Craig? It's just really, it's a pity. We're not hearing you properly at all. But that, I'm looking forward to seeing that one. If that wasn't a planned build, that was just something that suddenly, ding moment.
Yeah, I think he was saying something along the lines. It was about how big would you say it was, Andy? About 20-inch.
That one 14 by 18.
14-inch by 18-inch.
Mm.
He's basically, it's nowhere near finished, is it? He's using loads of
Oh no,
little bits and stuff. And
the amount of extra little greebly stuff to add onto that would be crazy. Yeah, but
he's started one of the towers as well, hasn't he? Which looks pretty cool.
Liam, I'll be right back. I've got to take care of something.
okay, cheers. No problem. Thank you.
Just started.
One of the 4 towers of the refinery.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's.
and that's all scratch build, just using what plastic.
Yeah, he's had a few issues with it because he's using styrene and balsa, and he had a bit of a chemical reaction. Bless him.
Oh dear. Oh,
Burnt himself a little bit.
what glue are you using then?
He was using super glue.
Right.
Well, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like super glue onto like tracksuit pants. It reacts and gets really. Well,
Yeah.
say,
In the wrong place.
He was trying to show me how hot this stuff got. He glued a bit of balsa to a bit of styrene. I saw the smoke, and then the next thing I saw real tears and screaming. It dripped on him. It was in his nether regions, bless him.
Dangerous stuff. Yeah, I know this.
now. I can put the flame out.
Would you not just use some form of two-part epoxy or something to avoid any reactions like that? But
I'm not allowed to use epoxy anymore.
oh, smell.
But I glued it in under paint in the kitchen.
Oh.
Yes, not recommended. No, that's not wife friendly. I know you're coming from.
Came off, but it took a couple of days of surgery and grafting and solving in.
Craig, with regards to Telford last week, I mean, I know you put a video up of the event, which was fantastic to see. Next time, turn the camera horizontal.
Yeah.
All the way
I
through.
was
That's
trying.
another story. But was there anything outstanding that sorry, you saw something you think, yes, that's a build for the future?
Right, to be totally honest, on a lot of the builds, it was impressive, it was. And there was a lot of stuff there that was like, you know, but
Yeah.
the one or two that stood out were, I think you commented on it on the video, was Tamiya Zero kit. Apparently it's super rare now, and it come with like a moving prop and the noise when you press a button. When the prop got faster, the engine got louder, and It
Yeah,
starts bubbling on the
I like
base and
that. That was amazing. That was a Mitsubishi Zero, which
yeah.
linked the sound into the rotational speed of the prop. Yeah.
To see that in the flesh, it was absolutely beautiful. The actual wings, it's got like all the little panels on the wings where it's all riveted. He'd gone to the point where every single one of those was detailed and it was all a different colour and that. You couldn't see it on the video, but in the flesh, the whole plane was like that. It was like a checkers board. It looked really, really smart. And
Yeah.
what you don't see on the video is the thing actually wobbles on the base and that with the engine noise and stuff. It was like vibrating.
Yeah.
Wow, that's super cool.
I mean, was that completely? I know you spoke to him a little, but was that a complete build by himself, the electronics and everything, or?
It was out the box. The whole thing, even the electronics, was in the box. Apparently, Tamiya used to do them. The only thing that he did was he changed the Tamiya plane for a different plane of the same type.
Yeah.
But everything was out the box pretty much. The other thing that was pretty cool.
I would like to see that.
That was
There's a
132nd scale, wasn't it?
something like that. Yeah, it was big. It was big, like. The other thing that stood out was there was a lighting company there, and they had these like little lighting kits for 35th scale figures and stuff. And there was a little German soldier that was like smoking a cigarette. Little orange light come on, little orange light went off. About a couple of minutes later, little orange light come on, little orange light went off.
Yeah.
There was like an arc welding like stuff. And he had like a German soldier like arc welding a truck or something.
Yeah.
This bright
It seems
light
to be.
comes on and-
It's the growing side of the hobby, certainly, to add the animation. I don't know. I think it was on SFMA Google Plus that someone posted a video of it looked like a mech. I don't know if anyone else saw it. It was like a mech, two-footed robot, warrior type thing with a rotating machine gun at the front. With it actually rotates, and they had like a cotton at the front of it. Yeah. To get the lighting effect, and the thing looked like it was firing, a high-speed machine gun system. It just demonstrates what's possible. It's funny with the whole time that we're in at the minute, Christmas and so on. I was in the local DIY place today, and the Christmas lights, and they were doing sets of little small lights with 2 AA batteries and a 3-volt power supply, and there are 20 lights in the pack for £50. But they look to be all 0603 SMDs. There's someone, so they're pre-wired. So I'll probably get one in the next few days, and I'll cut the LEDs out so I can have them for the future, because they avoid all the problem of wiring or soldering the LEDs. Yeah, very cheap. That's the thing.
Whereabouts was that again?
Home base. You have a home base, I think, in Coleraine, or do you?
No, we have B&Q, but there's the home base up at Crescent Link up in Derry. So
well, that's the one beside me. So that's about less than 5 minutes walk. Maybe 5 minutes walk. So I was getting something else in them, so I'll probably get some during the week. But it's the fact that the SMDs, I mean, to buy the SMDs would cost you probably that anyhow. But the fact that they're pre-wired, it's obviously set up for 3 volts. So if I was going to use them, I need to add in a resistor to the.
Do me a favour, Liam. Don't buy them all before I get there.
no, I only do that with Hasbro Millennium Falcons. You still haven't been tempted? No, still not. No, because the price has gone back up now again as well, Randall. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, to be honest, something that big I wouldn't have anywhere to put it.
I know. Well, it's just me being insane. That's what it is. I'm good at that. Insanity is one of my good things. Yeah, with regard, I mean, you're talking about your lighting kits and so on. I mean, is that the same idea? Would you go out and buy components that way, or would you get them in bulk?
Who?
Glenn.
Yeah. I'm here.
Yeah. Sorry, did you hear the question?
No, actually, I didn't.
Right. No, I was saying about if you're doing a lighting, you're creating your little kits and so on. Do you go out and buy from a thrift store or a dollar store, places like that, together to get the stuff, or would you buy in bulk? Would you order in a load of components, or would you just buy them when you see a bargain?
I break down my components into a list, and I buy everything on eBay.
Right. Yeah. Funny. It just this week I got I have it here. It's the same thing. It's I mean, I was looking for 2mm the lighthouse LEDs is the correct term. I think it is. And I got these on eBay. It's a pack of 200 with the LEDs. So it's a mixture of green, red, blue, and white. And they're all the little. I don't know if you can see how much detail. You can see what size these are. Is that showing up? Is that showing up at all?
2mm.
The 2mm ones, which are perfect for the Enterprise, I think. And if I need to, I can obviously reduce the size of them slightly as well. But that was an eBay deal for, I think it was $450, including delivery. And it said it wouldn't get, and there's also comes with the resistors as well. The resistors are in the same pack, so everything's in the same pack. But it said it wouldn't be here until middle of December. But it took only 7 days to arrive from China. But that's again something that I know I will need these for the proposed Enterprise build that a lot of us are doing in the new year. I don't know how many people will end up getting. It was just John Petrie had started something up with that to try and encourage people to. And it's funny, I've that NX01 and there's no way I would be starting it unless, except for the challenge from John to get stuck into it. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm missing that one out.
You said you weren't going to build any more starships anyhow.
Yep, I've had enough of starships, man. They're just keep snapping me. JJ has broken me.
We'll see what Sean the Sheep does to you, or Wallace and Gromit, and perhaps you may come back to it then.
Sean the Sheep, man.
Yeah. What about you, Randall? Not interested in joining in that one, no?
Yeah, I've thrown my hat into the ring, as it were, but it'll not be the 350 ones I'll be doing. It would be one of the 1000 scale.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're coming from. I may regret going down this road, but I need to do something with the 350s. It's crazy. I have so many of them that I need to start on one of them at least as a challenge. But again, it'll be a long project. I can't see it in a hurry. And of course, I need to get the Star Destroyer and the Falcon out of the way too first. But we'll see how it goes. It's funny, but it's the same. It's someone challenging you to a group build or a summoner build. I mean, in a sense, you had it, Craig and Andy, with the JJ prize. And obviously John's been continuing on with us, but we've all had issues big time with it.
Apparently John's had to go and buy
Craig doesn't want to build other starships. But that's, is it a case then it would put you off completely for the foreseeable future, or is it just a temporary thing?
With me, I'm just fed up with it, to be honest. The fact that I've had to buy 4 or 5 kits to make one for the JJ. Then there's the lighting, then there's everything else that goes in it, and it's just getting too complicated. It's just really doing me head in. I just want something simple, you know.
Yeah, I know the feeling, and that's when I started that Star Destroyer. I wasn't intending perhaps to do as much to it as I've done to it, but that's always my problem. I can't leave it alone. I'll keep adding stuff or trying to make it better, and it's just so infuriating. And that's why I've always now, when I get a kit, to try and get 2 of them, because I know I'll not be happy with the first one. I want to go back and improve on the second one.
The other thing for me is it's all coming too common. Everyone's building a 350 Enterprise, or everyone's building another Enterprise of some sort. I just like to be a bit different.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know with sorry.
No, go on.
No, go ahead. No, you spoke first.
All I was going to say is that's why I'm doing like an Iron Man just to be different, or I'm doing the AVP thing just to be different. That's one of the reasons as well, really.
Yeah.
Just to be different from everybody else.
What about you, Shannon? I mean, are you stick just with starships, or do you build everything and anything?
Well, let's see. I've built General Lee car, General Lee model, 24 scale, and built a 57 Chevy. And besides Star Trek, I got one that's Star Wars, and it's the X-wing from Star Wars. Luke Skywalker's and the R2-D2's in it. They're little rubbery fellers.
Yeah,
they're in it.
It's funny. It's I'm a Trekkie at heart, definitely first and foremost. But I always like some of the ships in Star Wars. That's why I went for that Falcon. I mean, that's why I did the X-wing, which was the first sort of big build I did after getting back into modeling again. After sort of I did the Enterprise and then the Klingon Bird of Prey and a couple of aircraft. But it was the X-wing that sort of challenged me to get my head around the optical fiber and things like that. But it's the scale of them. I like the bigger the model, the better I like it. It's much easier to work on. That's why I think all the aircraft I have, and likelihood is any more I buy will be at least 1/48 scale or larger. I just
Wait until you do your refit.
the day I get round to, I will not start the refit until I have, well, probably will have retired. I can't road until that point. The NX one is different. You know, okay, I'll probably regret saying that. The NX one is different in the sense that it's not that it's well, the painting for a start is much more straightforward, I think. Although I've seen some people having major issues with it. But again, I've got Lou Dalmasso's Aztec masks, so we'll try those and see. But and there's any amount of resources and videos online to support you with it. But as you say, Craig, the problem with the 350 refits that everyone's doing. In fact, there seems to be more people building it now than when it first came out.
Well, when I originally saw the first video, I think it was one of Boyd's actually. One of the first ones he done. It was like, wow, I want one of them.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
When I go around to doing it, everyone's doing it, and it's like, it's not so special after all now, is it? It's like,
I don't know.
This is better than mine. This is better than mine. This is better than mine. I'll them selling it. So,
Boyd keeps raising the bar with that ship.
He
Every
does.
time he does one, it seems to be far better than the previous one.
Yeah, I wonder how many he's built in total now, Randall. It must be 7 or 8. It must be at least that many. Of the refit, I think it's built 7 or 8 of them, at least.
Who, Boyd?
Yeah.
At least, I would say.
Yeah.
He's got a little conveyor belt going to refits, and he pops one out a day. Bless him.
That's the most infuriating thing. He just seems to start one and then a month later it's done, which I just can't. It'll never happen with me. I mean, even if I have the time, it'll probably take me at least 6 months. And will I ever do the 5-color Aztec? I don't know. And 2 of the ones I have the Aztecing decal sets with them. And I would perhaps go down that road first, and then again in the far-flung future, I might have a go. But again, a bit like you with these Asia Prize, I can see myself in trying to make it fly for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But
mine's flew. Hence 4 kits.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
If you my refit 350 refit is the very first one of the first issues, which didn't come with the Aztecing decals. So if you ever do get around to opening yours and the other sheets going spare, I'll buy it off you.
So 3 of the ones that I have are the original version.
Right.
One of them is the re-release, so that makes 4. I bought a set of the decals for one of the non-decal ones, so that means I've got 2 sets of the decals for 4 ships. I mean, I did start one of them. I started the Arboretum, and I just then chickened out. And it's in a box along with the rest of the kit. I know one of the issues you need to be careful about as well is over time they can warp. Someone said there was problems with warping if you didn't build them, left them for a long time, but perhaps that's the conditions you keep them in.
To be honest, if you built it out of the box, it'll go together really quick. It's a really nice fit. Just you added extra of all the lighting that needs to go into it.
That's the thing. And I keep saying perhaps that's the way to go with more models. Build them in the box, enjoy them. I mean, I know if I'm working on something and it's really frustrating me, I'll then go and build something simple. A little 1/72 scale aircraft for a week or something just to get away from it and avoid the insanity.
The one thing that I didn't really mind was the shuttle bay. Because I used the kit shuttle bay, you know, the stepped one.
Yeah.
For me, all the added time and effort to put all the photo etch and that, you can't see all of it. When you look through the back, you can just see the tubes at the back, you know, the turbo.
The turbo lift, yeah.
A little bit of the grill that goes around, but you can't see all the detail that's in there. So if I was to do another one, I'd probably go for the 1701A shuttle bay. The DLM one.
Yeah, which is a nice, really nice little kit. Yeah,
That would fill in that space, and you can see all of it. That was one of the things.
It's an awful pity that there's no European distributors for the DLM parts.
I don't know. I've never looked.
Yeah, I mean it's the kind of thing at Telford. There wasn't anyone selling parts like that. They weren't selling.
There's very, very little sci-fi there at all. There's plenty of kits, depending on what you liked. Even to the point where they had a full-size scale Gremlin in vinyl, didn't they, Andy? Did you see that? It was like a full-size Gremlin out of the film, like whatever it was. But the actual
different kits, it was amazing.
Yeah. But as for actual sci-fi builds,
they had a section too. Someone with building Daleks. Was that right?
Yeah, there was like a table full of sci-fi that had Daleks and stuff on it. Also had things like minions, and there was a lad there that done, that in Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, when he's on that little red speeder thing, and he's just picked up R2-D2 from getting wasted or whatever. That little red car thing that he's in, he actually there was one of those that was actually levitating on magnets and that above its base.
Oh, yeah.
But when I got there to video it was getting packed away like.
I know that's Andy seems to be big into the levitation stuff. If we can achieve it, again, it's an interesting when you see the neodymium magnets, what they're capable of in terms of power. Obviously it's some kind of control system in the base that varies in reaction to them, but it's again something for the future for someone to try and do.
Yeah, it's pretty smart just to see it's kind of like floating before he put it away. Like, the only other thing that really stuck out sci-fi wise is a huge studio scale skydiver. That was massive. That was like 6 foot.
Is it the same as the one that Steve Neal's building a submarine? I think it was the same.
Yeah, same as that, but it was like 6 foot. The thing was huge.
Yeah, and they had a Stingray as well. And
yeah, that was a big Stingray.
Yeah,
I can't really tell how big they are in the video, but that Stingray was about half the size of the skydiver. It was massive.
Yeah.
And then there was the Nostromo as well.
Right.
That was the only things that really stuck out sci-fi for me. Like, there's a couple of Falcons. There was Battle Damage Gen XO1 that I saw. There's a bloke that bloke with that plane I was telling you about, that Mitsubishi Zero. He scratch built his own Ellen Ripley in a power loader. He scratch built his own Alien Queen. You can't really see it, but where the Queen is, it's got like where it stood underneath. There's a grate, and he's actually gone to the extent of putting Newt down underneath the grill.
Right, I'd read about that. Yeah, I hadn't seen pictures, but I read about it in one of the forums. Someone's talking about it. Yeah,
that was pretty smart. That.
But they seem to be fair in the sense of anyone who enters sci-fi entries, they do have a gold class and so on. There are people who won prizes for entering sci-fi. It's not a case of the sci-fi stuff.
I didn't see what was in the
over there sort of thing.
Actual stands. There was one main stand with just sci-fi on it, but very few things on it, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
And there was little bits dotted about here and there from various groups that were there.
Yeah, I've seen that when I've gone to the one in Dublin, the IPMS Ireland show. It's the same thing. Loads of aircraft and ships and tanks and so on, but the sci-fi stuff, at least 2 years ago I went, was just a shelf at the back. I don't know if this year, Randall, was much more sci-fi stuff.
It was the same this year. One shelf on
Yeah.
the side.
And there's a lot of us are sci-fi builders rather than general. I mean, I'll build everything, but a lot of people are specifically sci-fi builders and would never consider doing anything else. But it's interesting. But certainly from the last few weeks, I've come across more people. I've found more people who are building stuff locally in Northern Ireland, and a good few of them are sci-fi builders, but they will not attend the Hangouts. They're just petrified of the idea of coming on here to chat. A guy, John Stewart, I don't know if you know him, Brantley, he lives in, I think it's Carrickfergus who lives in, but he's a big poster on the RPF forums, and his work is superb. But it's all Star Wars, and Star Wars is what he's into. So I know he did try some Trek stuff at one stage, but he just complains about the Trek models being too clean. that everything's very pristine. But that doesn't have to be the case.
The TOS Enterprise had its fair share of grime and streaks.
I don't like that. I don't like that dust effect on the Enterprise. It's just like, no, it's not right. For some reason, it just doesn't look right. Probably because I never noticed it in the black and white 20-inch television in the corner that didn't show the detail. Oh.
It always looked pristine on the screen.
Yeah. I'm disappointed that we haven't had more attendees tonight. It's strange. I've pushed it as much as I can on the forums. And,
I'm messaging Spencer. He's out at work, and I can't actually invite anybody.
Yeah, well, I've tried Mitch and John Petrie and various different people to see, but there just doesn't seem to be anybody else here tonight. I don't know. Randall, you came in when I sent you the invitation directly, but it wasn't. You didn't see the general invitation?
I came in on the general invitation tonight. It was a wee bit late. Social life was getting in the way of modelling. That's the case. That's why. Between myself and Craig, it's a case of trying to organise whose turn is it this week, and hopefully there's no dramas or crises that interfere with things. So get on with it.
I think it's my turn next week, isn't it?
It is, yes. Although well, what do I think next? I'll be here next week. I'll be on my own next weekend.
Happy days.
Yeah, I might actually get some modelling done. But I'm going to start to finish the broadcast. I think we're up to our quarter past here, and we haven't got a lot of our people. But just to say thanks for popping in this evening, guys. And as always, hope to see you next week, and weeks from there on. And just to finish off again, saying thanks to Boyd and TrekWorks for allowing us to host the European Hangouts here, and we'll keep going. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Night.
Yep.